Good morning. Our hand today is going to be pocket nines. This could be an interesting one because we have first two players limp, and then it's around to me. This player's playing 50-25 over 30 hands. This player's playing 31-4 over 454 hands. Of these two players, I think this player's going to have the widest range. Out of the hands that he has played, he's played about 25% from early position, 50% MP, 60%, 60%, 60%, 33%. Raise first in, he does raise first in, so I'm going to assume that he's raising something decent. But then if it's not a raising hand and he wants to play, he's going to probably just limp. I don't have any limp first ins in early position, but we don't have a huge number of hands. So if we look at his range, I'm saying something like this. It's 42% total. We're looking at all of these hands that he's going to limp with. I think he's raising with these, which gives him about 8%. We could probably add on more, but he is under the gun. You can see it's something that's very wide. Next guy is going to be a bit tighter. So he's playing 31-4. When we look at his limp first in stat, it's 19%, 30%, and his raise first in is much tighter. So when we look at his raise first in stat, we're looking at something like this minus what I'm going to say is this. I think he's going to probably raise like jacks plus ace queen, maybe not even ace queen suited, but something like that, and then limp with these other playable hands. When it gets to me, I'm going to be isolating, and we've got the always ISO versus optional isolate. I think both of these players' ranges are massive. I think we should try to attack them. Do I use the always ISO? I don't think so. I think with the players that are list loose, I'm kind of not expecting them to be folding as much. So even though they have a wider range, I think they're going to be limp calling, especially this guy. And if this guy limp calls, then this guy's going to be limp calling. So instead of using like the optional or including the optional, I think we're just going to use the always ISO range here. Go with the stronger range against these looser opponents. And the reason I don't want these optional is because if I'm gonna raise with the hand, let's say 6-5 suited, that's not super good. But I don't think I really have any fold equity, and the fold equity goes into the equity or the overall EV of these other hands. So if we're losing the fold equity, then what's the point of raising with the weaker hands? Go for the stronger hands, so when called, we will have a stronger range. So that's what I have. I've rated ISO to 5, probably should be 6, and as expected, both players call. Do I think this player is going to fold? I doubt it. I think we've got limp fold, one in mid position, so I mean he is capable of that. So let's just kind of clean up just a little bit. Maybe that. Now we've still got straight potential. Maybe the suited kings. This player, once he calls, he's going to call with everything else. He's getting, I think, too good a price. So the flop comes down queen 8-2 with 2 hearts. Question is, if I bet, how often will I win it outright? So this player folds to c-bet out of position 2/3 of the time. This guy hasn't been in that situation, but when he's in position, he's folded 100% of the time. So we're going to say maybe anywhere from about 25% to 40%. I think I think we'll get both of these guys to fold. So if that's going to be our range, we could easily bet half pot, pick up the pot with a large percentage of our range. So both players check. I'm going to say this guy donks, and I think this is a board where it would actually look pretty decent to donk. So I am going to take out like the queen 9 and queen 10, because I think that is one where they would donk with. And maybe maybe these 8s. I think more than anything, it's going to be the queen. He's going to bet to see if I have the queen. I think if he has an 8, he's probably check calling with those. So now it's on me. What am I going to do? We should have a stronger range against both of them. They do raise pre-flop, so they're missing all of those big cards. They don't have any of those queens, so I think we're going to be betting all of our top pair plus. I think our pocket pair less than the top cards are going to be betting for some value here. Value slash bluffing our pocket pair less than the second card. We're going to go for, we don't have any of those, our flush draw, our gut shot, I think our overcards as well, and 2-card backdoor flush draws. We've got, I think that kind of covers it. So 50 to 30, that seems to be about a suitable range. We're c-betting 80-some%. We're not betting all of like our 10-9. What we do? What are we not betting? Ace. Some of these aces this week, the weak aces. Maybe we can add like ace jack, king jack, ace 10, since those are all like backdoor straight draws. I think maybe that's what we'll do. Maybe the ace 9. That's probably better. All right, so I think that's what we c-bet. How much do we c-bet? We're gonna probably c-bet 6 to 8. 6 to 8 big blinds. Probably 6 is what I might prefer. Little less risk because I think it's less likely that both will call. So like versus this guy, I could easily go 6 just to limit risk. This guy might go 6, not so much to limit risk, but to encourage him to call with weaker hands, especially if I have better hands. So, and I think you could do that with the flush draw. We could do that with gut shots as well. I don't really see a reason to go super large. The other thing to consider are the bet size or the stack sizes. This guy's got 30. If we go 8 and he's gonna play, he could easily check raise, and then we're gonna probably have to call. So I could go 8, he calls, he check raises all in, I'd be forced to call. This guy probably calls. If not, he goes all in, and then our life's just gonna suck. So I think if we go 6, that kind of helps. It's gonna be harder for him to shove as a check raise. So I do like that. I'm glad I made that 6 big bet c-bet here. So I made that bet, and both of them called. So we already have this guy. We're going to include the middle pairs for him. We're going to include these bottom pairs. Probably like any pair here. We're going to include flush draw, gut shots. I don't think we're going to include the 2-card backdoor flush draws. So we're going to include something like that for him. This guy, we're going to have the set. However, we're going to discount the set because I think he probably would check raise. I think top pair could be there. Top card, I'm also going to discount the flush. We're going to give him the gut shot. Something like that. So those are their raises. Turns 5. At this point, pot's 34. This guy's got 23. This guy's got 50. And he leads. Leads for 1 big bet. Big bet. So this is the first time he's donked. He has donked on the flop. So what is he doing this with? I don't think he's betting like this with a set or 2 pair. I really don't even think he's doing it with top pair hand. I think middle pair, maybe. Maybe the flush draw. maybe the flush draw, maybe this open-ended straight draw, the 4-3, 6-4, 7-6, where it's the combo. Yeah, we're gonna do those. And still, the sizing is just so weak. And then next guy calls instead of raising. I do think he would. He's short enough. He should go with a set. Although he is passive, so let's take that out. He is very passive, so we're gonna include those other ones there, and then we're gonna add the 5 of diamonds. So we're gonna include the sets. He's passive. He's gonna be scared of the flush. I think he's still gonna be calling. Probably with those pairs. I think weak pairs he's probably gonna fold. I think 6 and 7. Maybe the middle pair calls. I think flush draw is calling. Maybe the gut shot. We're gonna go with that. And then it's on me. What do I do? What's realistic? Am I gonna get, if I raise, am I gonna get a fold? That's the question. I'm not so much worried about this first guy, this guy. I'm really just kind of worried about this guy. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a fold for anything. I think we want to raise our sets. I think we want to raise our over pairs. Our top pairs, we want to raise probably ace, queen, king, queen. And then queen, jack, queen 10, we could probably just call. And that means we can call with those. I hate calling with the 7s, but I feel like I have to. And the 5, I just don't. We're going to probably have to call again because we have a pair, but I think we're behind. We're just getting too good odds here. You know, we need like 3% to win. I think if we catch an ace, we're probably good with 2 pair. Do I think I'm going to get folds if I go with the ace? I think if I shove, and maybe that's the play. Maybe I'm going to shove with the set and the overcards and the good top pair, and then balance that. Let's try that set. Overcard, top pair. If I shove with those, and then also shove with flush draw, gut shot. Ooh, maybe overcards as well. Maybe that's about 50-50. I think the overcards, it depends how often I think they're going to fold. I think maybe go more. I think we're not getting as many folds from villain 5 as we want. So maybe just do that. Maybe even just the flush draw on the gut shot. Gut shot's pretty weak. I think if villain calls with a flush draw, we're going to be beat. So maybe we could make that a call with a gut shot, and instead flush draw overcards. So if like an ace or a king comes, we quite possibly have it. I think that's what we're going to do. So let's see what I actually do. Probably just call. I did. So we've got the call there. I think we have everything set. Yep. So now 7 of diamonds. Doesn't really complete much. Villain 4 checks, villain 5 checks. Yeah, it's villain 4. I think if he was going to bet, he's going to bet the straight. He's going to bet the set. Probably going to bet 2 pair. I think he's middle pair, weak pair. This next player, same thing. When you look at his overall range, he only has some, he's got top pair in his range, but that's maybe about 40% total top pair plus. maybe 50%. We'll say 50-50. If I bet what kind of hands are going to call, maybe this player calls. Pays me off. This player probably doesn't. I think he only calls with top pair plus. So 40%. So he's folding 60%. We've got value with our nines. We beat a lot of the range already. This player too. So when we look at our range, we've got these weak pair, ace high, nothing. We've got some of those hands. I wonder if we bet all of our nothing hands. We got top pair plus. Yeah, queen, jack, queen 10. We go for value about 50-50. Maybe not even all of them. Maybe 9-10. Yeah, because I don't think I could win with 10-9 or jack-10. Ace high at least has a shot. So yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe 50-50. Actually, I probably think that you pick one of those. Pick the cards that don't have the hearts in them. That should give like 4 combos. So I check. That means I've got middle pair, and we see a river. So we've got king 4 for the flush draw. And why don't we have flush draw on here? Because we didn't know if he would donk with that or not. Yep, if he donks, so he does have that. So, and then this player tens, that is in his range. That was one of those cards we didn't know. He got us on that. So let's take some notes here. So he limp called LC for 5 big blinds. Limp call a 5 big blind ISO from cutoff in under the gun. Actually, let's see this. Under the gun limp call. Cutoff with king 4 hearts. Out of position. Call 35%. 35%. Bet 1 big blind, and then check on a queen of hearts. Yep. 8 of hearts, 2 of hearts, queen of clubs, 5 diamonds, 7 diamonds. And we need this guy. Yep, so he is under the gun 1 plus 1. Limp call 5 big ISO from cutoff with 10 of diamonds, 10 of hearts. Out of position, check call 35%. Call 1 big blind, donk, and then check on. There we go. All right. So overall, I think the hand was played okay. I think if I bet on the river, this guy's folding. This guy probably isn't. He's passive enough. So I think with our nines, we're not really going to get the folds that we needed to turn this hand into a winner. I think we were betting. I think Villain had enough hands in his range that I think even if we raised, I think our bet was, or to win the hand, we would have had to raise that river or that turn, and then Villain would probably fold those tens, and that gives us a way to win it. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed this hand. If you do, look tomorrow for another.